Okay, I'm calm now. I've just been yelling and swearing, and that's not going to go well on YouTube. So let me try again. Rebels, you deserve that loss. That was the most gutless, most cowardly performance I have ever seen from a team. And you deserved it. You deserve losing that game. You had every advantage to win the game. You had all the possession. And you chose the easy way out every time. You took the easy way out and you lost. Gutless performance. In fact, all the players in Rebels team that got picked for the Wallabies should be dropped. All of you should be dropped. Con Betty, terrible game. Tamura, that was the worst game I've ever seen. That was literally the worst game I've ever seen from Tamura. You wouldn't even believe it. He literally threw the ball out on the sideline into the fans. Okay? He literally passed the ball to the ball boy standing on the sideline. Hodge as well. Like, his passes were just going, like, to nobody. Horrible game. Horrible game. Bunch of cowards. Gutless performance. Absolutely gutless. And Western Force, They showed everyone what it means to play rugby. Why rugby is the greatest sport in the world. No matter how hard you're getting hit, it's that saying. No matter how hard you're getting hit, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and you keep moving forward. That's what the Western Force did the entire game. They took a beating for the entire game. And then they had the guts, the grit, the determination to go for a try to win the game. Unlike the Rebels, every opportunity they had, they took the easy way out. It was so disgusting to watch. The Rebels, I don't even go through most of the game because it's just disgusting to watch. The Rebels took penalty kicks after penalty kicks after penalty kicks, and it was so bad. At one point, the Western Force had a yellow card. And Rebels were like 10 meters out from the try line. Okay? 10 meters out. And the Force has one person in the sin bin. They went for the penalty kick. They went for the 3 points. So the Western Force were able to basically get away with 3 points, losing only 3 points with a person in the bin for 10 minutes. It was just the most gutless thing I have seen, like, this season. Okay? And when they did have the ball, just terrible plays. Dropping balls everywhere. Just Tamura throwing the ball to the ball boy on the sideline. And like weird, like random kicks that just goes nowhere. It's like, literally, it's like, even the commentators were saying, like they just like try to do some random like kick because they're not going anywhere. Like, we're not sure what do we do from here. They just randomly kick the ball and see what happens. Awful play from the Rebels. Like, all the players that got picked for the Wallabies from the Rebels should get dropped. Terrible players. It's not just like, oh, you had a bad game, you lost. It's like, just, it shows your character. It shows your character as a person. You take the easy way out, every opportunity you had, and you try to eke out a win. You try to squeeze out a win. When you had like overwhelming advantage for the entire game, for 17 minutes of the game, you had overwhelming advantage. And you just try to eke out a little bit of win. Eke out a win. Gutless. Absolutely gutless performance. The Force really pulled it together when they needed. Like, the Western Force weren't good. Like, they were in the receiving end for the most of it. But the Western Force never gave up. And they At critical moments, they turned the ball over. At critical moments, they won the lineouts. At critical moments, they won the scrums. And they get themselves up out of trouble again and again and again and again and again. And the Rebels, on the other hand, took every opportunity to try to get a shortcut. Just awful performance. And it was so bad. Up to the last 10 minutes, I was just praying. Western Force was behind, 9 points behind. And I was just praying for the Force to win. Because you can see it. The Rebels are just went from here, right? And they're just slowly dropping. And the Western Force are just hanging on, coming back up a little bit, right? And the Western Force is clawing back bit by bit. And when the Western Force substitution came on, against the Rebel substitution, you can see it. The Rebel subs just hey guys, what are we supposed to do? Not too sure. Let's just try eke out a win, I guess. Just hold on to what we got. And then, literally you can feel the momentum change when the Melbourne Rebels substitution came on. And the Western Force is just, start slowly crawling back. So the Force had a penalty kick to close the gap to 6. So it was 9 points to 15. And then, Western Force is feeling the pressure. And, I was sitting there come on. You can't let the Rebels get away with this kind of performance, right? For the entire game, the Rebels just try to squeeze out an easy win, basically. You can't let them get away with it. You just can't. And sure enough, the Western Force showed what it means to play rugby. Kahui, the former All Blacks, showed why he used to be an All Black. Showed why he wore the black jersey. Okay? Unbelievable performance. He's out. The team is out on the ropes. Never gave up. Kept swinging. Kept moving forward. And then the Western Force just put the squeeze on. 5 minutes left. Still down by 6 points. Right? So Western Force put the squeeze on. Full-on penalty for offside Rebels. Western Force kicks for the corner. Okay? Kicks for the corner. And you're just instead of, then this is 5 minutes left. So there was down by 6. They could have potentially took a kick and then try to level the game in with another penalty within 5 minutes. But no, the Western Force knows when your opponent is reeling, you go for the blood. You go for the kill. And sure they did. Lionel comes in, sets up the maul. Melbourne Rebels illegally collapses them all. Full on penalty. And then Western Force spins the ball out wide. And then Melbourne defends. And Corin Betty just charges in from the side. Takes out the halfback. Another full on penalty. And then it's just, at this point, there was 4 penalties back to back. The Rebels were really, really lucky they didn't get a yellow card. Because in the first half, the Western Force were in a similar situation and they got a yellow card. And this time, clearly, blatantly offside, coming in from the side, taking out the halfback, Corin Betty did. No yellow cards. But anyway, Western Force, fine, no yellow cards. We'll do another line out. And the second line out comes in. This time, Western Force sets up the line out. Rebels weren't able to collapse it illegally. I guess they didn't want to get a yellow card this time. Western Force pushes them more forward from the line out. And they roll the more. The more spins. And they crash it over. And the referee was right next to the ball. Saw the ball down. Try time. And then the Western Force number 10, Milicic. He's the reserve for the Argentina number 10, Sanchez. So if Sanchez retires, Milicic, it's going to be the starting number 10 for Argentina. And he's had just a perfect game this game. No matter how much pressure he was under, always performed just landed all the kicks. Every time they did take a kick, he landed the kicks. His kicking game was pretty spot on. Never really made a mistake. Didn't throw the bloody ball into the crowd like Tamura did. Okay? Sanchez, when Sanchez retires, Milicic will basically be the starting number 10 for Argentina. And man, he gets the conversion. Western Force leads by 1. All right? 4 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for the Rebels to score. And Rebels did this weird like kickoff where they went just 10 meters. They chased up, batted the ball back, got the possession back from the Rebels. And then they just started crashing the ball, right? From the halfway line, start crashing the ball forward. With like about 3 minutes left, start crashing forward. And it looked like they dropped the ball a couple times, right? And the referee just went, nah, it's backwards. Like, you clearly dropped the ball. If you're going forward for a hit. But anyway, so they got lucky twice from dropping the ball. And the referee goes, no, you didn't drop the ball. And then they kept crashing, getting closer. They went from about 40 meters, crashed about all the way up to about 22 meter line. And they're just like setting up for a drop goal. Anyway, the first time they set up a drop goal, the Powell threw a terrible... So Tamura's off the field at this point. So Hodge is doing the drop goal. He threw it past Hodge. Hodge just completely bounced off the ground. So Hodge couldn't get the ball cleanly. So he like grabbed the ball, had to pick the ball up off the ground. So he couldn't do the drop ball. And then the Western Force guys chased up and just completely shut him down from the drop ball. So he had to throw a pass before he gets tackled. And then the Rebels ran another couple passes. And the Western Force turned the ball over. Right? So there was so they got isolated. And Western Force turned the ball over. And at this point, you're just like, it's over. It's game over. And I was like jumping up and down. Like, Western Force is won. Game over. The Western Force halfback gets the ball out. And he kicks the ball out, right? Kicks the ball out. And we're just he kicks the ball towards the sideline. We're just like cheering. And then for some reason, like, the ball was like charged down by the Melbourne Rebel player. So his kick to end the game to the sideline was charged down. And I was just like, everyone's just like, what? And then, so like, not only charged down, he like charged it stopped it in the air, and then he caught it back as well. So Rebels got the ball back right away, and they built the pressure again, and they're just trying to set up for another drop goal. And finally, they were like 20 meters out. Finally, they had Hodge sitting in the pocket for a while now. They sent the ball to Hodge. Hodge was standing in the pocket, 22 meter out, not that far. Probably like, the ball was at 22, but Hodge was probably standing like 35 out, right? Right in the middle, he grabbed the ball, kicks it, completely shanks the ball, and completely missed the drop goal. Again, instead of being patient, because Force is going backwards, right? Instead of being patient and try to get a full-on penalty, or maybe even go for a try, because the Force is just going backwards. Like, you started at 50 when you won the kickoff, and you just been gaining, and now you're up to the 22. Instead of like gutting it out and get a full-on penalty, because eventually the Western Force can run out of like space, right? They can't just concede territory forever. Instead of just keep putting the pressure on, they decide to do a crappy drop goal. That's the Rebels for you guys. That's the Rebels. Another, look, even to the last minute of the game, they try to take the easy way out. You could have waited for a penalty or even scored a try. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable poor performance from the Rebels. Disgraceful. God. Yeah, talk about like putting players' names on the jerseys to try to like increase people's recognition for your players. Now everybody knows who you are for being a bunch of losers. Just gutless performance. All of these players should be dropped from the Wallabies. Hopeless. This is like the worst rugby team performance from our Australian team this year. The worst, by far. Gutless performance. If you look at just look at the stats. Let's look at the stats. This is why I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Look at the stats. Like almost double the run meters, double the carries, double the defenders beaten, double the clean breaks, double the passes. Consider 17 turnovers because they're just stupid, because they're just bad, right? Like, Force had to do double the tackles, 20 missed stats, just unbelievable stats. Unbelievable stats. Like, overwhelming advantage to the Rebels. Just absolutely gutless play. God, that's so awful. Awful. Anyway, probably no one's gonna watch this video anyway. It's just, if you did watch, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the big game, Reds versus Brumbies, number 2.